I'm here to challenge you. We've just launched the South Australian Sheep Industry Blueprint, and it's the 2030 iteration, so it's a 10-year plan. We started planning for it last year, and COVID really got in the way. And as it turned out, most of our consultation was done by Zoom anyway, so we probably could have done it. But we didn't know Zoom as well as what we do now. The other thing I want to talk to you about is just the opportunities. The opportunities, not just for producers, but for the full value chain in South Australia. So where are we? Currently in South Australia, the sheep industry makes a absolutely crucial contribution to the state's economy with premium products exported across the world. The industry generates $2 billion in annual gross state revenue with an estimated 5,200 farm businesses in South Australia. These businesses support approximately 10.7 million sheep, with farm gate production valued at $780 million. South Australian sheep meat and wool were exported to more than 50 countries in 2019-20, with sales valued at nearly $650 million. So a major contributor. One thing I was challenged about at the launch, and you'd be surprised by this, that it was Jason Tromp that challenged me. And he said, you need to tell the people how unique this is. And I guess within South Australia, we get on and do what we've got to do. But the sheep industry and cattle industry blueprint are very unique in Australia. And we've been able to see fantastic collaboration, bringing people into the industry like Mark Hutchins that you heard talk before lunch. That was around the sheep industry blueprint, bringing those people together. And I just want to tell you a little story about my first meeting with Mark. As you can imagine, there's a fair bit going on in that brain. And Stephen Lee organised me to go to their offices in Adelaide Uni, and I'm thinking, I've never been to university in my life, so I'm thinking, what the hell am I doing here? And all of these world-renowned physicists and mathematicians and IVF specialists and you name it, they were there, and I had to present to them, and I'm thinking, what the hell? And anyway, I had a 10-minute presentation to do. Well, 3/4 of an hour later, Mark said, I think we better give Jane a break now. And they just bombarded me with questions. And a lot of the questions were around, oh, well, we've got answers to that. I'm sure we've got answers to that. And all I spoke to them about were some of the issues and some of the concerns that as an industry we had that could be resolved. So from there, we're now where we are with Mark. And thank you, Mark, for seeing the red meat industry as being an important part of what you do. But I guess I wanted to give you that example about what it is that the blueprint can achieve. So we've created this unique opportunity, and we really want to build on the momentum of what it is that we're trying to do and build on the success of the original plan. I want to highlight to you priorities, and they're not just for producers but for the full value chain. We are not going to be a successful state if we don't have processes. And I know we can all say bloody processes this and bloody processes that. If we don't have them, our stock have got a long way to go. They've got a long way to travel, and we will lose value. We'll lose value within the state because that money is not staying within the state. We'll lose value because we're not employing those people in the state. So we have to have a win-win for the full value chain. So our vision is to support a prosperous South Australian sheep value chain that is connected and adaptable, capturing market opportunities and continuously improving stewardship of our animals and the land. And you've heard a lot about that today. You've heard a lot about how we can improve our animals. There are many things that we can all do. We can all continue to improve. But what it also means is we've got a lot of work to do. So these are the priority areas that have been set down in the blueprint. The first one is supporting productivity with sustainable practices. We want an additional lamb produced per ewe over that lifetime, which will deliver 1 million more lambs. Jason Tromp also challenged me at that. But when you break that down, with every ewe that you've got, if you can get them to have one extra lamb, that's going to make a significant difference to our industry. We want to see the stocks flock number increase by 13%. We want best practice in pasture management to address regional conditions. We want evidence-based production systems to enhance productivity and wellbeing. Exactly what Mark was talking about. We need to have evidence-based to ensure that what we are saying is happening will happen. We want to see wild dogs eradicated with inside the new dog fence. We want pathways developed for carbon neutrality. And we want to see an average return on asset increase by 1.5% for our sheep producers. The second area is promoting a responsive and resilient supply chain. By 2030, we want to see our state with 100% adoption of EID of stock processed. So it is coming. If you haven't got EIDs, think about putting them in your ewe lambs this year, because it is coming. We need to have objective measures of livestock wellbeing and every supply chain equipped to provide this. This is why we support Mark and his team to develop these measures. We want to see a reduction in value chain processing costs by 10% through waste reduction. And when I say waste reduction, that's not just waste reduction that's happening in the processing plant itself, but it's waste reduction around the animal. What is it that we're doing? How many times have you had an enhanced abattoir surveillance come back to you to tell you that you've got an animal health issue? And that's costing you money. It's creating waste within the processing. So we need to make sure that we've got really good biosecurity and animal health. We want to see development of an adaptable, deployable wool harvesting solution. We all know how difficult it is to get shearers. So there has to be the technologies, and we have to get the people on board to ensure that that happens. Our third area, fostering a growing skilled workforce. We want to see an increase in trusted advisors on farm so as to increase our return on asset managed. We want to see careers highlighted to ensure an improvement in retention of workers throughout our value chain. And we want to see an increase in the number of school students who can learn about agriculture by at least 20%. Area 4, optimising market outcomes. We want to see 100% of sheep products traceable through the supply chain. We want to see 100% of producers participating in whole-of-chain feedback systems to better address market requirements. Who here knows about MyMLA and Livestock Data Link? How many of you get feedback from Livestock Data Link? Go onto MyMLA and get yourself set up and have a look. And the development of sustainable assurance schemes aligned with stakeholders. So as you can see, we've got a bit to do. And if you are a producer, a consultant, a stock agent, or part of the value chain, we need you to contribute. The Blueprint Working Group anticipates the South Australian sheep industry can grow by 50% to $3 billion per year by 2030. We want to deliver its objectives alongside the state government's growth plan, which outlines continued growth in the meat and wool sectors. In a minute, you will hear from Emily Mellor about the Red Meat and Wool program. The Red Meat and Wool program it came from the Blueprint. We are the ones that got the state government thinking and wanting to participate in the red meat industry. The South Australian Sheep Industry Blueprint 2030 is an industry initiative, and it's been developed by industry for industry. So we consulted with government, but this has been done by producers, processors, consultants, everyone from the value chain has been consulted. The Blueprint Working Group will also continue to work as the South Australian SALRAC Group to deliver priorities and consultation to MLA. We will continue to collaborate with researchers and consultants for good outcomes to the South Australian sheep producers of the state. There is a really unique, strong and passionate ownership of the Blueprint by stakeholders, And I want to say that it also aligns with the national and state priorities, which it needs to do, so that we can get extra funding, and we can double that value, so that we're getting more access and more adoption across our producers and the full value chain. I want to say thank you to my working group colleagues and the executive, who really put in a lot of time to get this up, and all of these other groups that have participated and being a part of it. But I really want to invite and challenge you to participate in growing our industry by engaging with this plan. Become familiar with its priority areas and seek to participate in activities that align with its targets. We really look forward to working for you and with you. The Blueprint's development will ensure the ongoing growth of our industry and collaboration across the sectors that make us a major contributor to the state. Thank you.